E.N.D here. When it comes to purchasing single cards, the most significant risk you undoubtedly face is the possibility of encountering fakes or counterfeits. This is indeed a substantial concern, particularly when acquiring magic cards, especially those of high end and considerable value. It's imperative and very important to know how to check and spot fake cards. I'm going to show you various techniques that you can easily perform at home without incurring any professional fees to check if your newly purchased cards or cards that you already own are genuine or fake. First technique, the light test. This is the simplest test you can perform on your cards. What you need is a flashlight. If you don't have a flashlight at home, don't worry. Nowadays, modern smartphones come with an inbuilt flashlight. To understand how the light test works, you need to know that a Magic the Gathering card is made up of 3 layers: the back side, the front side, and the center blue core layer. During printing, these 3 layers are glued and pressed together, and that's what the light test is all about. It's about checking for this blue core. For this test, you need a dark room. Place your card a few millimeters above the flashlight. If your card is genuine, you should see the light going through your card. If the light goes through and you can see the back of the card, see the back of your card, the card is probably genuine and it's not a fake. On the other hand, if the light doesn't go through or it's darker than your other cards, the card is fake. A small note, if you see dark patches, especially handling alpha and beta cards, that could be a sign that the card is a reback. Be very careful. Second technique, the feel. This is a bit tricky, but with a certain degree of experience, you can do it. Real magic cards have a particular texture. Not too much slippery, not too much rough. Meaning that with your fingers you can feel if the card is real or not. If the card feels too much slippery, especially, and this is what I recommend when compared to your other cards, then probably that card is a fake. If the card feels okay and feels very similar to your other cards, then that card is genuine. Something else, if you put your card under a light, a lamp is recommended, and it's very shiny, not like this. This is not very shiny. As you can see, there's a texture. If it's very shiny, then that card is a fake. If it's rough and there is a rough texture, then that card is genuine. Third technique, the look. Here we need to go deeper and you need a jeweler's loupe. My advice is, if you are in this collectible world, a jeweler's loupe is a must. They are not very expensive. On Amazon or eBay, you can find one for less than $10. 30x is my recommendation, but I would go for 60x or even 100x. For this technique, you need to understand how a magic card is printed. A magic card is printed in layers and different degrees. First yellow, then cyan, then magenta, and last black. These layers of colors are very important to understand because of the famous rosette patterns. There are certain details of your card you need to check. The set symbol. Using your jeweler's loupe, check carefully the set symbol. The outer line has to be distinctly bold and has to look like it has been printed on the symbol and not part of the symbol. If the set symbol doesn't have the outer line distinctive from the rest of the symbol, then your card is a fake. The main text. Same here. The main text of the card has to look like it's been printed on the card, not part of the card. As I have explained earlier, black is the last layer of color and therefore needs to look distinctively. The mana symbols. Also here, the black part of the mana symbols have to be distinctively and not part of the symbol. If the mana symbols of your cards have their black part not distinct, then your card is a fake. Last, the overall card. If your card looks too faded or too dark, then that card is a fake. Always compare it with another card you know is genuine. Maybe you cracked it yourself to be 100% sure. Fourth technique, the green dot. My favorite technique. The first thing I do whenever I buy a single magic card, and honestly never failed me. Personally, it's 99.99% accurate. This technique is based on how the color separation was done during the making of the films which are used for printing. Wizards seems to use the same files for the backs since alpha, with clearly separated colors. There are a lot of color variations due to changes in the saturation, but the pattern is always the same. How should it look like? Easy. The green dot is solid and has only 4 red dots in it in an L shape. This L pattern can be found on any legit magic card. And here it's important your jewel's rope. Magnify carefully the green dot. I recommend also the use of a flashlight. If you see 4 red dots in the shape of an L, that card is genuine. If you don't see this L-shaped red dots, then I'm sorry, most probably your card is a fake. A small note. Due to different printing facilities and technology, if you don't see a crisp L shape, don't worry, as the red dots are not always crisp and can be faded. In that case, look carefully at the left hand side of the green dot. If you see something like this diagram, a 4-teeth gear, then your card is genuine. Always look for these two things, the red dots forming an L shape and the 4-teeth gear left hand side of the green dot. Fifth test, the bend test. Honestly, I don't recommend it, as if you're not careful, you can easily damage your card. Bend your card from top to bottom like this. If the card can warp back to its original state without any creases, then your card is genuine. If you see creases like this or wrinkles, then that card is a fake. Honestly, don't bend your precious cards. Sixth and last technique, the rip test. I would recommend this test only if you are 100% sure that the card is a fake. Rip your card like this and check for the blue core. If you see a blue core like this, then the card is genuine. If you see no core or a black core, then that card is a fake. So these are my and what I recommend techniques you can do to check if your cards are genuine or fake. My advice, if you buy or sell single cards, always check if they are genuine or not. Surely you save some money. Leave me a comment below. What are your experience when handling magic cards? Have you ever encountered any fake cards? And as always, subscribe for my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.